Welcome to Repeat EN, where you improve your English listening through movies and stories. In today's episode, we're going to explore the story of the Shawshank Redemption in clear and natural English.
Exactly. And our mission today is simple. We are just going to sit down like two close friends and retell this incredible emotional story from beginning to end. No boring academic analysis, just a great story to help you practice your English.
Yeah, that is the goal. We want to keep the English clear, very natural, and, easy to follow. So let's set the scene. It is the year 1946.
Right, 1946.
Yeah.
And we meet a man named Andy Dufresne.
So Andy is a banker. He is a very quiet, very smart man. He wears nice suits and he has a comfortable life. But then something terrible happens.
It really is a nightmare. He is accused of a horrible crime. The police say he murdered his wife and her lover.
And the thing is, Andy says he didn't do it. He looks right at the judge and says he is innocent.
But the judge doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
So Andy is sent to Shawshank Prison for the rest of his life.
Imagine that. I want you to really think about this for a second. Imagine being taken from a comfortable, successful life and thrown into a dark, scary prison. How would you survive?
I mean, it is terrifying to even think about. That is the journey we are going on today in this deep dive.
Right. So let's talk about that first day, because the arrival at the prison is it's brutal. The prison bus arrives, and Shawshank looks like a terrible stone fortress.
Yeah, it looks so cold and dark. And the new prisoners, they are treated like animals.
Exactly. The guards make them take off all their clothes. They wash them with freezing cold water and this harsh white powder, and then they just throw them into cages.
It is so degrading.
Yeah.
And this brings us to a really useful English expression. The expression is, in the blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah, that is a great one. In the blink of an eye.
Right. It means very, very quickly, like almost instantly. So Andy was a rich banker, and in the blink of an eye, his old life was gone. He was a prisoner with nothing.
That fits his situation perfectly. In the blink of an eye, everything changed. And the other prisoners, the older ones, they are watching the new guys arrive.
Yeah, they are shouting and making noise. And this is where we meet Red.
Red is such a great character. He is an older prisoner, and he knows how to get things.
Right. If you want cigarettes or candy, Red is the man you talk to.
So Red and his friends, they make a bet. They bet cigarettes on which new prisoner will cry on the first night.
And who does Red bet on?
Well, he bets on Andy. Because, Andy looks so weak. He looks like a stiff wind could blow him right over. He doesn't look like he belongs in a prison at all.
It makes sense why Red chose him. That first night in the cells is completely dark and full of screaming. It is a nightmare.
It really is. But Andy doesn't cry. Another man cries instead. This heavy-set man, they call him Fat Ass. He starts crying and screaming for his mother.
And that is when we meet the head guard, Captain Hadley. Hadley is a cruel monster. He goes to the crying man's cell and he beats him.
He beats him so badly that the poor man actually dies the next morning. It is just awful.
It is a dark, terrible welcome to Shawshank. But during all of this screaming and violence, what does Andy do?
That is the amazing part. Andy never makes a single sound. He is like a quiet cat in a new room.
A cat. That is a good way to put it.
Yeah, just watching, listening, and learning the rules of the room without making a sound. He stays totally silent. And because he didn't cry, he actually costs Red a pack of cigarettes.
Right. Red lost the bet.
So let's pause here for a second. What would you do on your first night in a scary place like that? Would you cry or would you stay quiet like Andy? Just think about that.
It is a tough question.
Yeah.
Well, after a few weeks, Andy finally speaks to Red in the prison yard.
Yeah, he walks right up to him. And Andy asks Red for a really strange item. He asks for a rock hammer.
A rock hammer? What is that exactly?
It is a small tool, like a tiny pickaxe, used for carving small stones. Andy tells Red that he likes geology, studying rocks. He says he wants to carve little rocks as a hobby to pass the time.
And Red agrees to get it for him, right?
He does. But Red warns him. He says, look, if the guards catch you with this tool, I do not know you. You are on your own.
Red has to protect himself. And speaking of protection, this is a good time to introduce our second target English expression, learn the hard way.
Learn the hard way. I use that one all the time.
Right. To learn the hard way means to learn a lesson through pain or a really difficult experience instead of learning it easily.
And Andy definitely has to learn the hard way about the bullies in the prison. There's this terrible game called The Sisters, led by a man named Boggs.
Yeah, Boggs and his gang are cruel. They attack Andy in the dark corners of the prison.
But the interesting thing is, Andy always fights back. Always.
I mean, he is smaller than them, so he always loses the fights, right?
Yeah, he gets hurt very badly. But he fights so that learning the hard way applies to Boggs, too. He makes the bullies pay for every attack. They hurt him, but he makes sure to hurt them back a little bit.
He is showing them that he will not just give up. It is brave, but it is so painful.
To lighten the mood a bit, there's this funny kind of gross detail in the story around this time. Andy is eating his food, and he finds a bug, a maggot, in his meal.
Ugh, that is disgusting.
I know, right? Most people would be sick. But this older prisoner, a man named Brooks, he asks Andy for the bug.
Why does he want a bug?
Well, Brooks has a little baby bird named Jake living in his pocket. He feeds the bug to the bird.
Oh, wow, that is actually kind of sweet. It shows you how weird but interesting prison life is. People find small ways to care for things.
Exactly. But let's jump forward to 1949. This is a huge turning point in the story. It is springtime.
Right, spring. And Andy, Red, and some of their friends get a special job. They have to put hot black tar on the factory roof.
It is incredibly hard work. The tar is hot and they are sweating, but they are outside in the sun. It feels good to be out of the cell.
But then Captain Hadley, the cruel guard, he starts complaining loudly to the other guards.
Yeah, Hadley's super angry because his brother left him $35,000.
That is a lot of money in 1949. Why is he angry?
Because he thinks the government is going to take it all in taxes. He is complaining about the taxes. And then Andy does something completely crazy.
What does he do?
He puts down his tool and he walks right up to Captain Hadley.
Oh, no. You don't just walk up to a violent guard like that. Red and the other prisoners are terrified. They think Hadley is going to throw Andy off the roof.
Hadley almost does. He grabs Andy, but Andy speaks very calmly. He asks Hadley, "Do you trust your wife?"
That must have confused Hadley so much.
It did. Andy explains a legal trick. He tells Hadley that if he gives the money to his wife as a gift, he can keep all of it legally without paying taxes.
And Andy was a banker, so he knows exactly how to do this.
Right. So Andy makes a deal. He says, "I will fill out all the tax papers for you for free."
But what is his price? He must want something.
He just wants 3 cold beers for each of his friends working on the roof.
That is amazing. He risks his life for beer.
Well, it works. The
Yeah.
next scene is just beautiful. The prisoners are sitting on the roof in the sun, drinking icy cold beer. Red says they felt like free men. But wait, Andy isn't drinking, is he?
No, he isn't. He just sits in the shadows with this small smile on his face, watching his friends drink.
Why didn't he want a beer?
I think he just wanted to feel normal again. For 20 minutes, he wasn't a prisoner. He was a guy buying drinks for his friends.
That is a huge victory for his mind. But sadly, things get bad again very soon.
Yeah, they do. Boggs and his gang, the sisters, they attack Andy one last time. They trap him in the movie theater room.
And this time, they beat him so terribly that Andy's in the hospital for a full month.
It seems like Boggs finally won. But there's a massive twist.
Oh, this is the best part. Tell them what Hadley does.
Well, Captain Hadley actually likes Andy now because Andy saved him all that tax money. Andy is useful to the guards.
So Hadley decides to protect his tax guy.
Exactly. One night, Hadley goes to Boggs's cell. And Hadley beats Boggs so badly that Boggs is paralyzed. He can never walk again. He has to drink his food through a straw for the rest of his life.
It is brutal, but it works. The sisters never, ever touch Andy again. Never again. And the warden of the prison, a man named Norton, he realizes Andy is a very useful person to have around.
So what does the warden do?
He pulls Andy out of his terrible laundry job and puts him in the library. He gets to work with the old man Brooks.
The library is much safer.
Very safe. And soon, Andy is doing taxes for all the guards. Even guards from other prisons start coming to Shawshank to have Andy do their taxes.
He becomes a very important person.
He does. And he uses his new power to help the library. He starts writing a letter every single week to the state government.
What is he asking for in the letters?
He asks for money to buy new books. The warden says they will never give him money, but Andy just keeps writing every single week.
He is incredibly patient. But while Andy's doing all this good work, something really sad happens to Brooks.
Yeah, this is a tough part of this story. Let's slow down for this emotional moment. It is the year 1954.
Brooks, the old librarian, is told he can finally leave the prison. He is a free man.
But he has been in prison for 50 years. He is terrified of leaving. He is so scared that he almost stabs another prisoner just so they will keep him inside.
That is so sad. The prison is his whole world. And this leads us to our third English expression. Catch someone's eye.
Catch someone's eye. Yes.
This means to attract someone's attention. When Brooks goes outside, The fast, loud, modern world caught his eye, but it terrified him.
Right. All the cars, the noise, the people, it all caught his eye, but it was too much. He gets a job bagging groceries at a store, but he hates it.
His hands hurt, and he is so lonely.
So Brooks writes a letter to his friends back in prison. And then he takes a knife and carves the words, "Brooks Hatlin was here," into the wooden ceiling of his room.
And then he hangs himself.
It is heartbreaking. The outside world was just too fast. This is what happens when you become institutionalized.
Institutionalized. That means the prison becomes the only home you know, and you forget how to live on the outside.
Andy and Red read the letter, and they are devastated. Andy realizes he has to fight the sadness. He has to show the men that there is still hope.
So what does Andy do? It is a really famous scene.
It is amazing. Andy is in the warden's office alone. The guard goes to the bathroom, and Andy locks the guard inside.
Oh my gosh, he locks the door?
Yes. And then he locks the main door so the warden can't get in. He finds a record of beautiful Italian opera music Mozart.
And he turns on the prison microphone.
Exactly. He plays this beautiful music for the whole prison.
Just picture it. Every prisoner in the yard stops working. They look up at the speakers. The music is so beautiful and pure.
Red says that for a few minutes, every single man in that terrible place felt totally free.
Of course, the warden is furious. He finally breaks the door open.
And he punishes Andy severely. He puts Andy in the hole. That is a tiny, completely dark cell, no light, barely any food. He is in there for 2 full weeks.
That would drive anyone crazy. But when Andy comes out, he tells his friends it was easy.
Easy? How could that be easy?
Andy says he had the music in his head and in his heart. He says they can't lock up your mind.
That is so powerful. He is holding on to hope. But let's jump forward again. It is 1965 now.
And things are getting a lot darker. Warden Norton is very corrupt. He is taking dirty money like bribes from construction companies outside the prison.
And he forces Andy to hide the money. Andy creates a fake person on paper named Peter Stevens. He uses this fake name to hide all the warden's illegal money in different banks.
Wait. Andy is a good guy, right? Why is he helping a bad man steal money?
That is a great question. It is a trade. It is Andy's shield. He does this illegal work, and in return, the warden lets him build the best prison library in New England. Andy uses the library to help other prisoners get their high school diplomas.
Ah, I see. So he is surviving and helping others, but playing a dangerous game with the warden?
Exactly. And then a young kid arrives at the prison. His name is Tommy.
Tommy is like a cool rock and roll kid. He is young and makes a lot of mistakes.
Andy really likes him. He helps Tommy study for his high school test. They become good friends.
But Tommy has a huge secret, doesn't he?
A massive secret. One day, Tommy hears why Andy is in prison. He hears about the murdered wife and the golf pro.
And Tommy is totally shocked.
Yes. Tommy tells Andy and Red that at his old prison, he had a cellmate named Elmo Blatch. And Elmo laughed and bragged about killing a golf pro and a woman.
Oh my goodness. It was Elmo Blatch.
Yes. Elmo even told Tommy that the police blamed the husband, some banker.
So Andy really is completely innocent. This is the proof.
Andy is so excited. He runs to the warden. He begs the warden to help him get a new trial. He finally has a witness.
The warden have to help him, right?
No. The warden says no.
Why?
Because if Andy leaves the prison, who will hide all the warden's dirty money? And worse, Andy knows all the warden's secrets. The warden cannot let Andy go free.
That is pure evil.
It gets worse. The warden throws Andy in the dark hole for a whole month, and while Andy's in the dark, the warden asks Captain Hadley to take young Tommy out into the yard at night.
And Hadley shoots Tommy. They kill him.
Yes, they kill the young kid, and they pretend Tommy was trying to escape. They murdered Andy's only witness just to keep Andy in prison.
That is just, it's heartbreaking. So let's ask the listener another question. Imagine you are Andy. You know you are innocent. But the warden just killed your only witness, your friend. What do you do now? Do you just give up?
It is the darkest moment in the story. When Andy comes out of the dark cell after a month, his eyes look dead. He looks completely broken.
He goes to sit with Red, and his voice is very quiet.
He tells Red about a specific place in Mexico, a place called Zihuatanejo.
Zihuatanejo. It is a warm place by the Pacific Ocean. Andy says the Pacific has no memory. He wants to go there and fix up an old boat.
Red tells him to stop dreaming. He says those dreams will drive you crazy in prison.
But Andy just asks Red for a promise.
This is a very mysterious detail. Andy says, Red, if you ever get out of prison, you have to go to a specific hayfield in Buxton, Maine.
The hayfield?
Yeah. He tells Red to find a long rock wall and to look for one black volcanic rock. He says Red must look underneath that rock.
What is under the rock?
Andy won't say, he just walks away. And later that day, Red hears a terrifying rumor.
What is it?
Red finds out that Andy asked another prisoner for a 6-foot rope.
Oh no, a rope. Red thinks Andy's gonna hang himself, just like old Brooks did.
Right. The tension that night is incredible. There is a huge thunderstorm, lightning is flashing, thunder is crashing. Andy is sitting in his dark cell just looking at the rope.
You really think the story's gonna end in tragedy?
But then morning comes, the storm stops, the guards are checking the cells, they walk up to Andy's cell.
He is gone.
The cell is totally empty, he vanished like a ghost.
Oh wow. The warden comes running in, screaming and yelling. He is so angry.
And this is the perfect moment for our final English expression, get the best of someone.
Yes, get the best of someone means to defeat or outsmart someone. The warden is furious because he realizes Andy got the best of him.
Andy totally outsmarted him. The warden is so mad that he picks up one of Andy's carved rocks and he throws it at the wall.
But he throws it at the giant poster of the beautiful actress on Andy's wall.
And the rock doesn't bounce off, it goes right through the poster.
The warden tears the poster down. And what is behind it?
A giant hole, a tunnel, dug right through the thick concrete wall.
It is the biggest surprise ever. For 19 years, Andy used that tiny little rock hammer to dig a tunnel.
19 years. Red thought it would take 600 years.
But how did he hide the dirt and the rocks for 19 years?
He was a genius. Every day, he put the rocks in his pockets, and when he walked in the prison yard, he would quietly drop the dirt out of his pants onto the grass.
That is amazing. And he hid the hole in the wall behind his posters of women.
So, on the night of the storm, Andy squeezed into the wall. He climbed down to a huge sewage pipe.
The pipe that carries all the waste from the prison. Ugh.
He used a rock to break the pipe open, and then he crawled inside. He crawled through 500 yards of foul, terrible-smelling liquid in complete darkness.
That sounds like a nightmare.
But he did it. He came out into a river outside the prison walls. It was raining hard, and he raised his hands to the sky. The rain washed all the prison dirt off him. He was a free man.
It is such a beautiful moment. But wait, he isn't finished yet, is he?
Oh, no. Andy gets the ultimate revenge because he didn't escape empty-handed. Remember the rope he asked for?
Yes. What did he use it for?
He tied a plastic bag to his leg while he crawled through the pipe. Inside the bag was the warden's nice suit, his shiny shoes, and the secret bank books.
Oh, wow. So he dresses up like a rich man.
Yes. He walks into the banks the next morning.
Yeah.
He uses the fake ID for Peter Stevens, the fake person he created for the warden.
Peter Stevens is real now.
Exactly. And Andy takes $370,000 of the warden's dirty money.
He takes all of it.
All of it. He considers it his payment for 19 years of forced labor.
That is brilliant. But what about the warden's crimes?
Andy mails the secret bank books to the police and the newspapers.
Oh, the warden is in big trouble now.
Well, police arrive at Shawshank with their sirens blaring. They arrest Captain Hadley, and that cruel monster actually cries as they take him away.
Good. And the warden?
The warden opens his safe to hide his books. But the safe is empty. All he finds is Andy's Bible.
And what is inside the Bible?
Andy cut a hole in the pages in the exact shape of the rock hammer. He left a note that says, "Salvation lies within."
The tool that saved him was hidden in the Bible the whole time.
The warden knows he is going to go to prison for the rest of his life. So he takes out a gun and he shoots himself. Andy's revenge is complete.
Wow. What an ending. But we still have to talk about Red.
Right. Let's fast forward a little bit. It is 1967. Red has been in prison for 40 years now.
He goes to his parole hearing. But this time, he is different. He doesn't try to smile or say the right things.
He just tells them the truth. He says he regrets his terrible crime every single day. But he doesn't care about their rules anymore. He's just a tired old man.
And surprisingly, because he's so honest, they finally let him go. They approve his parole.
Red is free, but he goes to live in the exact same halfway house room that Brooks lived in.
Oh no, that is dangerous.
It is. Red looks at the ceiling and he sees the carving. Brooks Hatlin was here. Red is so scared. The world is too fast for him too. He thinks about committing a crime just to go back to prison.
He is feeling exactly like Brooks felt.
But Red made a promise. Remember the promise in the prison yard?
Yes. The hayfield in Buxton.
So Red gets on a bus. He travels to the countryside. He finds this beautiful sunny hayfield. He walks along the long rock wall.
And does he find a black rock?
He does. He lifts the black volcanic rock, and underneath it he finds a metal box.
What is inside?
There is money, lots of $50 bills, And there is a letter from Andy. Andy invites Red to join him in Mexico.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Andy writes something so important in the letter. He says, "Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies."
Hope. That is what kept Andy alive all those years.
Exactly. So Red breaks his parole. He gets on another bus heading to Texas, down to the border. He feels excited for the first time in 40 years.
And the final scene of the movie is just perfect.
It is. Red walks onto this bright, beautiful, sunny beach. The ocean is so blue, it is the Pacific Ocean.
The place with no memory.
Right. And he sees a man working on an old boat. The man turns around, and it is Andy. They smile and they hug each other. Two free men.
It is such a beautiful ending. And, it leaves us with a really deep question to think about.
What is that?
Well, think about this. The prison walls were made of stone, designed to keep Andy and Red trapped. But in the end, it was their minds that decided whether they were truly prisoners. Brooks built a prison in his mind and he couldn't escape it. Andy kept his mind free.
That is so true.
So how often do we build our own Shawshank in our heads with our fears and our routines? Are there invisible walls in your life right now that you need to start chipping away at little by little, day by day?
That is a great final thought. And now, it is your turn. We have a speaking challenge for you. Can you retell the story of Andy and Red in 3 or 5 sentences? Don't worry about making perfect sentences. Just speak out loud from memory right now.
Give it a try.
Thanks for listening to Repeat EN. Listen to this episode again, notice the useful expressions, and try to retell the story in your own words.